Are you looking to get some information on the new Yaesu FT-5? Well, stick around. I may have some information that will be helpful. Hey, Steve here, K4SRF. Have you just purchased the Yaesu FT-5 and you want to get some more information on it? Well, stick around. I'm going to be doing a series of videos regarding this radio itself, and I'm going to go through the manual and I'm going to cover from one page all the way to the end. And hopefully the information I provide you will give you a little more enlightenment of how this radio operates and help you understand the radio's functions itself. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, in this segment of the Yaesu FT-5D, I'll be covering the controls and connections on this radio. So we're going to go ahead and start with these two lights right here, these LED lights. These are your transmit and busy LEDs. Now, if it's green, you're an analog receiving in green. If you're receiving in digital, LED will be blue. Now, if you're transmitting, it'll be red. Now let's go ahead and go to the side here. We have our 4 buttons here, our PTT, pointed talk button right here. We also have the button right below that is our monitor or T-call key. By pressing this, you return to the previous screen. Now, in the USA and the Asian versions of this particular radio, pushing this button right here, this key right here, will open the squelch. In the European versions, this will open the T-call. Okay, right below that is the squelch button right here. This is the squelch button. That's the monitor T-call, and this is your squelch right here. This will control your squelch by pressing this and turning your dial up here, whichever dial you have set. You can control your particular squelch strength on your particular frequency you're on. Right below this is your power button, and it's also your lock button here. By this, obviously you can turn this on or off, but if the radio is on, like this one is right here, giving it a short press will lock the screen. As you can see here, it's locked now, and I can't change anything. I can't do anything in this thing because it's locked, as you can see. Now, pressing it again will unlock it. So now that it's unlocked, I can go ahead and change frequencies or volume or whatever I need to change here. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the other side of this radio. And over here we have several buttons here, inputs. They're right below this rubber seal here, since this radio is not waterproof but water resistant, weatherproof. This top up here is the mic and speaker jack. That's where your mic and speaker jack would go, and it's also well advised by Yaesu that you use an approved microphone for this particular radio. Going down here below these, under this little flap, you have your data terminal. Now this data terminal is what you use to hook your radio to a computer to program via the software that you can get for the radio. In this case I use RT Systems. So this is where you connect the radio to the computer itself. Right below that is your micro SD card slot right here, and there is a micro SD card I've got in here already. That just fits right into place in that area. It's not mandatory you need to use one, but if you want to back up the radio to the card itself, or if you want to program the card or program the radio and place that program onto the card, you can put it on the card, put the card in the radio, and upload from the card itself instead of having to go through the cable itself that connects to the radio if you don't happen to have it. Now down here is your external DC in jack. This is where you can plug your power brick into the radio itself to charge the radio. Now personally, there's an option that I bought, was a rapid charger for this radio. It's about, I can't remember, about $40, somewhere in that area. I purchased the rapid charger, which will function off these contacts in the back of this battery here. Of course, you got the battery here and your belt clip. But the radio comes with just the power brick itself, and it plugs right into here. So if you don't have to buy the quick charger, I just chose to do it's an additional option for this particular radio. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at the front part of this radio, the keys in the front of this radio here. First off, we have our function keys, which are right here. And you have your mic and speaker are all built into this area down here. Now, the F menu key, if you press once, here, it takes you to one menu. All these keys here, with the exception of the band key, have a short and a long press. So a short press on the function for F menu key here will bring you to this menu here that have memory and all these different options here. And it's got actually two portions to this menu here. You can go to this section, or if you need to go forward to this section. We'll cover these menus in depth a little bit later in another video. Okay, a long press, let me get back out of here. And to get out of most functions here, you just press the PTT button right here and it'll take you right back to the main screen. A long press on the F menu button takes you to this particular menu. There's only one page in this menu, but you've got everything from display, your transmit, receive, memory, your signaling, scan. Again, all this will be covered in another video. So let's go ahead and go to the AB switch. AB switch right here, this one right here, takes you to obviously the A band or the B band. A short press will just change, as you can see, whatever's highlighted, 146.76 highlighted, that's the band I'm on now, which is band A. Down here, 443.975, this B band, that's what it's on now. So if I were to transmit, whatever band here is highlighted is where I'll be transmitting on. Now that's the short press. Okay. Now if you were to give the A and B key a long press, this will take you out of the dual band mode here where you have your A band and B band and put you into a single band. Right here, see now the band that was highlighted was band B, so 443.975 came up. If I want to switch to A band, just press it again, it'll switch you back and forth. And that's in case you don't want to have two bands actually on your face of your radio at one time or have to worry about monitoring two bands. To get back to the dual bands again, long press takes you right back to where you were. Okay, the band key, which is right here, it will take you to the different bands. If you have bands set up in your radio, this is how you get to them. You go ahead and just switch, click band. In this case, I've got several bands set up. When you click that, you can switch bands. If you'll notice, this one says 3, band 3, band 2, band 1. I've got 6 bands in here. So as you can see, each one it's changing. And it just rotates, it just goes in a cycle. So that's how you change your bands. If I want to get back to the band I was on, which was in the Milton area, which is band 3, I believe. There it is, band 3. Press your band key again and it brings up that particular band. And all of your channels that you have in that particular band. You can store all of your different channels. In this case, I've got mine in cities. So all the channels I have for that city, all the frequencies in that city are stored in that band. So I can scroll back and forth through whatever frequency I want in that particular band. Working our way down to the GMX key. The GMX key on a short press will, and I don't have this set right now, so I really can't demonstrate it, but a GM key on the short press will turn the GM function on and off. Wait a second, let me get the light back. Here we go. And then in the long press, in a normal mode, pressing and holding the this button for 1 second will start wires X. And when wires X is activated, you press and hold for 1 second to return to the normal mode. But as I said, I don't have this function activated in my radio, so there's no way I can really demonstrate it at this point. Moving right next to the key next to it is the VM or VFO memory key. By pressing this key for just a short press, will switch you between VFO mode, so I'm in VFO mode here, and I can add a frequency in here. What I like about this is a touchscreen radio, so as you can see I'm in 520 right now. If I want to change that, just press and hold that down. I can enter. Okay, I changed it in VFO right there. There's one of our local control towers for the airport. That's one of their frequencies there, but I'm going to get it out of there because they will activate and I'll hear something else. Okay, back to that. So I know there's nothing on this frequency, but the VFO memory mode just switches you back between VFO and memory on a short press. Now, if you want to add something to your memory, and I don't want to add this to my memory at the time, but if you want to add, let's say I want to add this frequency, the 520, to my memory, pressing and holding this button down here for over a second, it'll write this frequency to your memory. Okay, let's go to the next button, which is the PMG button here. The PMG button, or PMG, stands for actually primary memory group. A short press on this button here will switch between your primary memory group, which I don't have any set. That's why it's giving me that error message. I don't have any memory set here, but that'll change you on a short press to and from the primary memory group or VFO group. If you hold it, this button down, let's say I want to add this to a primary memory group. If I hold this button down, the PMG button down, for over a second, it'll write this frequency to the program or primary memory group memory itself. Okay, our last key we're going to look at is the back key, and I kind of lied. I said the band key only had a short press function, not a long press. Well, the back key also only has one function, and that's a short press function. That basically just takes you back to the previous screen. Let's see if I can give you an example. Let's go into a memory. And as you can see, I went into a memory here. And we're into actually the menu, F menu button. And I want to come back. I can click back. Now, many times you can, like I said, you can go ahead and just press the PTT button, and that'll take you right back. So this key, the back key or the PTT, does the same thing. Now, there are a few functions that hitting the PTT key will not bring you back to the previous screen, but we'll cover that when we get to them. Okay, the top part of the radio here, so we don't want to forget this. We have our SMA antenna, obviously, our antenna port here. The box right here, this box right here, is your built-in GMS for your radio itself. And you have two control knobs here, the knob and the dial. Now, out of the factory, this controls switching frequencies, and down here switches the volume. You can, in the radio, you go into the configuration, and you can swap these functions around to where this will operate the volume, and this will, I'm sorry, I just said switch the frequencies and volume, or you could say make that switch the volume and that the frequencies, depending on how you want to work it. You know, it's personal preference. But that's what these three options are here on top. Okay, now if you want to, the last thing we're going to cover today is changing the transceiver settings. To change the settings that you have in the radio, as I just said, I'm going to cover these in detail in another video, but just press your and hold the menu key, F menu key, for 1 second, and that takes you to this particular menu here where you have all these different options. And what you're going to have to do to change these things is you can change, as you see it's highlighted, or it's in red here, whatever you selected, and this one says display in red. You can either press where you want, and that'll take you to that particular menu. Hit the back key. To get to this, you can just scroll to using the knob. In this case, I've reversed these two knobs here. I reversed the top and the bottom, and I'm still getting used to what does what now. But you just change the knob, you can get to whatever option you want to go to. And here you can change your display settings. And then once you've got your selection, just press it, goes into it. It'll display all of your different options here. And you've got several options there. Clicking the back button. Transmit and receive, you have several different options as well. And we'll get, like I said, cover all these in a different video. Back. Memory will change your bank names or your memory protect, all these different options here. Alright, we have signaling. Basically, that's where you set your tones, your DCS tones and everything. Alright, scan is where you have your scanning functions for this radio. Okay, your GM, which I said I have not set that up, that's general memory. Your wires X I don't have set up. Your configuration button is kind of important. You'll probably be going into here. This will give you different options to change the beep level, busy LED, clock type, GPS, home VFO, all these different options down here that you can control within the submenu here. Alright, we have your APRS settings next, where you set all your APRS functions up and your settings. Your SD card, where you can format and operate your SD card. Your option is that'll give you your option for if you have a USB camera hooked up, your Bluetooth device list and Bluetooth audio, those functions. And your call signs, the last one on this list, is where you can actually set your call sign. Now, when you first start the radio up, it's going to prompt you to enter your call sign, so you can enter it there. But if you rewrite to the radio, if you change your configuration, you lose your call sign, you can put it in there. Or if you've made a mistake and you in your call sign, when you entered it the first time, you can go into this particular screen here and change your call sign to your desired call sign. And that's basically all I'm going to cover in this particular video. In future videos, I'll be covering some of the other options on this radio, so just stand by for those videos to come out. I'm probably going to get to them as soon as I can, but I can't promise how soon that's going to be. Well, there you have it. This is the first part in a series of videos on the Yaesu FT-5. In future videos, I'll be covering other functions of this radio, and hopefully these will help you out. If you think this video has helped you out, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for notification of the next video that I'll be putting out, and also to check out my other videos. Until then, this is Steve, K4SRF. We'll catch you on the air.